So, Brenda, tell me a little bit about your business because you definitely have a unique wedding business that I have yet to see at any of my weddings. But it was brought up to me by another vendor, and I was like, I have to have Brenda on this podcast because she has such a unique business. So, can you tell me about what you do and what you offer for wedding couples?
Of course. Thank you so much, first of all. So I'm a baby business owner. This is my first year, so I'm still getting into it.
My
But
gosh.
yeah, I'm a live artist, but not in the traditional sense. Like it's not with the easels and you paint like the first kiss or the first dance. I go and I paint portraits, like 5x7 portraits of the guests, and they get to take those home as their wedding favor.
That is so cool. So how does that process? How'd you even get into this then? Like how'd you get into the wedding business? You go from being a live artist and like was this like a concept that you came up with of, like what if I could do this as a business? Like how did that start?
Yeah, so super long story short, I've always had art just like in my soul, and it's always been kind of like a side hustle. I'm actually by education a marine biologist.
What?
Um, yeah, and so I got my master's in New Zealand, then I came back, it was 2017, and science jobs were not an option.
Oh,
And it was very, very hard, but I found a job in a lab, and when my daughter was born, I realized like it was just not enough money. So I quit my job, stayed at home with her, and I decided to really like give my all to focus on paintings and focus on weddings. Um, and during COVID, I had my wedding, and my husband's dad had passed away a little bit before we got married. So I wanted to paint a picture of my husband and both of his parents as like a way to have him there. And I did that, and a lot of people saw it. I'm like on Facebook and stuff, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like my sister or my grandma or like whoever passed away, and I would love to commemorate them on my wedding too." And that was like my step into the wedding industry. So I started doing just those memorial paintings. And I was at a wedding expo showing those off, thinking like, hey, maybe people will pay me for this. Nobody bid, right? Because it's like, this is one thing. Expos are for the beginning of the process. That is like the very end of the process. But one of the brides that was there saw my paintings, loved them, and asked, she was like, would you ever consider doing these live? And at that time, I was like, absolutely not. These take me so long. Like, I would not have nearly enough time. But it sat with me and I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do that. So I practiced, and her wedding was like 7 months after that expo. I reached out to her and I was like, look, I got it. I can do it. I want to try it. And then I was hooked.